Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real. If you want to change your life, you've got to first change the way you see yourself. The reason most people stay stuck where they are is not because they lack talent, opportunity, or potential. It's because they have the wrong vision of who they are. You can't live a big life if you're thinking small about yourself. You can't expect success to chase you if you don't even believe you deserve it. Every blessing that's meant for you is waiting for the person you are becoming, not the one you used to be. But the problem is, too many people are walking around seeing themselves through the lens of their mistakes, their failures, or what somebody else said about them. You've got to stop letting your past control your identity. You made mistakes, yes, but that's not who you are. That's just what you went through. Your past was a lesson, not a life sentence. Your self-image determines your future because the way you see yourself sets the boundaries for what you think is possible. Everything you attract, every decision you make, every opportunity you pursue, it all starts with the picture you hold in your mind about who you are. If you see yourself as a winner, you will act like one. If you see yourself as a failure, you'll start living out that story too. Life responds to how you see yourself. Before anything changes around you, something has to change within you. The inner vision, that belief about your worth, your capability, and your potential, it shapes everything you do. You can't outperform the image you hold in your own mind. Most people are walking through life seeing themselves through the lens of fear, mistakes, or the opinions of others. They've allowed people who didn't believe in them to define their value. But let me tell you something. Nobody has the right to determine who you are except the one who created you. You are not what you've been through. You are not what they called you. You are not what happened to you. You are what you decide to become. The problem is many of us never give ourselves permission to see something greater. We've been told you can't or you're not enough for so long that we started to believe it. But that's a lie. The truth is, you were designed with greatness inside of you, but you've got to see it before you can live it. Think about it. Every successful person you admire started by changing the way they saw themselves. They weren't born confident. They weren't born special. They built that image. They spoke it into existence when nobody else could see it. When I was sleeping in my car, broke and hopeless, I still saw myself standing on stage, hosting shows, making people laugh, changing lives. That vision didn't match my reality at the time, but it shaped my actions. It pushed me to keep going. It reminded me that where I was didn't define where I could go. That's what your self-image does. It either traps you where you are or propels you into where you're meant to be. If you keep seeing yourself as broken, unworthy, or not smart enough, you'll make choices that match that belief. You'll turn down opportunities. You'll hide your gifts. You'll talk yourself out of blessings. But if you change that picture, if you start seeing yourself as valuable, intelligent, strong, and capable, you'll start showing up differently. You'll walk with purpose. You'll talk with confidence. You'll attract people who see your light instead of your flaws. Life is just a mirror reflecting what you believe about yourself. When you change the reflection, the whole world responds. You've got to reprogram the way you think. Every morning when you wake up, remind yourself who you are. Speak over your life even when it feels crazy. Say, I am enough. I am powerful. I am chosen. I am destined for greatness. That's not arrogance. That's belief. That's alignment. The world will always try to shrink you, but your self-image should always expand you. When you see yourself as someone worthy of success, worthy of peace, worthy of love, you start attracting it because energy matches energy and confidence is magnetic. Don't wait for someone to validate you. Start seeing yourself the way God sees you, fearfully and wonderfully made. you were never meant to play small. You were meant to lead, to shine, to inspire, to build something meaningful. But none of that happens until you look in the mirror and decide to rewrite the story of who you are. The future you're dreaming about can only appear when you believe you deserve it. So raise your self-image, lift your standards, and start walking like the person you were created to be. Because the truth is, your life can't outgrow your vision of yourself. And if you want a better future, you must first see a better you. You attract what you believe you deserve, because life is always responding to your energy, not your words. You can pray for success and talk about happiness and dream about abundance. But if deep down you don't believe you're worthy of it, you'll keep pushing it away without even realizing it. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you truly believe you deserve. When you walk around thinking you're not good enough, that things never work out for you, or that success is only for other people, you send out that signal. And what happens? Life matches it. You start experiencing more of the same lack, more disappointment, more closed doors. It's not because you're unlucky. It's because your belief system is blocking your blessings. The moment you start believing you deserve better, everything begins to shift. People treat you differently, opportunities appear, and your whole atmosphere changes. That belief becomes your vibration, and your vibration becomes your reality. You've got to understand that your worth is not determined by your past, your bank account, or anybody's opinion of you. It comes from within. When you carry yourself like someone who deserves peace, love, and success, you start attracting situations that reflect those things. If you keep settling for less, you're telling the world that less is enough for you. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate, and that all starts with how you see your own value. So many people are living beneath their potential because they've been programmed to think small. Maybe somebody told them they'd never make it, or maybe they grew up in a place where nobody dreamed big. But here's the truth. You can only rise to the level of your self-belief. If you think you're meant to just survive, that's all you'll ever do. But if you believe you're destined to thrive, you'll start taking the steps to make that happen. You'll push harder, think smarter, and move differently because your mindset sets your direction. Faith and belief are not just spiritual words. They're forces that move mountains when you apply them to your life. I've seen it in my own story. When I started believing I deserved more, more came. When I believed I could be a comedian on TV, doors opened. When I believed I could host my own shows, opportunities found me. But when I doubted myself, when I felt unworthy, everything slowed down. You see, God can only bless the version of you that believes in His promise. If you don't think you're qualified, you'll reject what He's trying to give you. Blessings can't rest where belief doesn't live. That's why you've got to start speaking to yourself differently. Stop saying, I can't do this, or I'm not enough. Start saying, I'm ready, I'm capable, I'm chosen for this. You may not see it yet, but your words plant seeds that will grow when your belief waters them. You can't wait for the world to recognize your worth. You've got to recognize it first. Walk like you belong in the room, even if nobody there looks like you. Speak like you've already made it, even when you're just getting started. Because confidence isn't about having everything, it's about believing you deserve everything good that life has to offer. When you change what you believe you deserve, you change the kind of life you attract. You stop chasing validation and start attracting respect. You stop begging for love and start attracting genuine connections. You stop hoping for opportunities and start creating them. The law of life is simple. Whatever you think you're worthy of becomes your reality. So, if you want to change your life, start by upgrading your belief about what you deserve. Because once your belief changes, your energy shifts. And once your energy shifts, everything you've been praying for will start finding its way straight to you. Confidence is built through faith and action, not through waiting for the perfect moment or hoping that someone else will believe in you first. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you create by trusting yourself enough to move forward, even when you're uncertain. Every step you take toward your dream strengthens that belief inside you that says, I can do this. You can't think your way into confidence. You've got to act your way into it. The more you step out of your comfort zone, the more you'll realize you were capable all along. Faith gives you the courage to take the first step, and action keeps you moving when fear tries to hold you back. A lot of people wait until they feel ready before they start, but the truth is you'll never feel completely ready. You've just got to start anyway. Confidence comes from doing. It's built in the moments, when you show up despite the doubt, when you try again after failing, when you take a risk, even though you're scared. Every time you choose courage over comfort, you build a little more trust in yourself. And that trust turns into faith, the kind of faith that says, no matter what happens, I'll figure it out. That's where true confidence is born. It's not about knowing everything or being perfect. It's about believing you'll handle whatever comes your way. When I started my career, I didn't have any guarantees. I had no money, no backup plan, just a dream and faith that somehow I could make it happen. I wasn't confident because of what I had. I was confident because I decided to believe in what I could become. That belief gave me the strength to keep grinding when I had nothing but hope. And with every small win, that confidence grew stronger. That's what faith and action do. They multiply each other. The more you act, the more your faith grows. And the more your faith grows, the bolder your actions become. Too many people talk themselves out of their destiny because they keep waiting for confidence to appear before they move. But confidence doesn't come before progress. It comes from progress. You gain confidence by seeing yourself follow through, by proving to yourself that you can be disciplined, consistent, and fearless. You start walking taller when you know you've pushed through fear before and survived. You start speaking louder when you realize your voice is power. Every experience, every challenge, every setback becomes a stepping stone toward a stronger version of you. Faith is what carries you when logic says you can't. It's that quiet voice inside that says, keep going. Even when everything looks impossible. When you combine that faith with bold action, you become unstoppable. Because fear and doubt lose their power when you move anyway. You stop needing approval, and you stop worrying about failure because now you're operating from belief, not insecurity. Every time you show courage, you rewrite the story of who you are. You become the person who tries, who fights, who grows, who doesn't quit. That's confidence. Confidence also comes from preparation. When you put in the work, when you stay committed to your craft, your body and mind start to believe you deserve success. You walk differently when you know you've done your part. You speak differently when you've faced your fears and learned from your failures. It's not arrogance. It's self-assurance built on faith and effort. When you trust your process, you stop doubting your potential. And that's the kind of confidence that can't be shaken by criticism or comparison. So keep moving. Keep believing. Keep acting even when it feels uncomfortable. Confidence is not a gift someone gives you. It's a muscle you build through faith and consistent action. Every day you choose courage, you're becoming stronger, wiser, and more powerful. Because once you learn to believe in yourself, no one and nothing can take that away from you. Stop letting your past define your potential, because what you went through is not who you are. It's only what shaped you. Every person has made mistakes, faced failures, and lived through pain. But those moments were never meant to label you. They were meant to prepare you. Too many people are walking around holding on to guilt, shame, and regret like a badge they can't take off. They let what happened years ago control the way they see themselves today. But you can't build a new future while staring at a broken past. At some point, you have to forgive yourself, release the weight, and say, that's over. I'm not that person anymore. Your future can't start until you stop replaying your old story. Every champion, every success story, every great leader has a past filled with mistakes and failures. The difference is they didn't let those moments define them. They let them refine them. They took the lessons and left the pain behind. You've got to learn to do the same. Stop measuring your worth by what went wrong. What you about isn't cancel what you can still become. The pain you went through was a classroom, not a prison. The mistakes you made were meant to teach you strength, resilience, and wisdom. That means you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. You already survived what tried to break you. That alone proves your strength. You see, your past is a chapter, not the whole book. Too many people close the book after a bad chapter, never realizing the story wasn't finished yet. God didn't bring you this far to abandon you in regret. What happened to you might have slowed you down, but it didn't stop your purpose. The past is behind you for a reason. The windshield in your car is bigger than the rearview mirror because where you're going is far more important than where you've been. If you keep looking backward, you'll miss what's right in front of you. Let go of the old pain so you can make space for new blessings. I remember times in my life when I felt like my past disqualified me. I had failed, I'd made poor decisions, and I thought I had ruined my chances. But the truth is, every setback was preparing me for something greater. The lessons I learned from those painful moments gave me the perspective and strength I needed later in life. That's why I can stand on this stage and tell you that your past is not a disqualifier. It's a foundation. It's proof that you've been through something and come out stronger. Don't be ashamed of your scars. They're symbols of survival. They remind you of how far you've come, not how far you've fallen. When you hold on to your past, you keep yourself stuck in a story that no longer serves you. You start believing lies like, I'll never be good enough, I'll always fail, or I don't deserve better. But those thoughts are just echoes of who you used to be. They have no power unless you keep feeding them. Every day you wake up, you have a new chance to rewrite your story. You are not your past mistakes. You are the choices you make today. Decide that your future deserves your focus more than your past deserves your pain. There's freedom in letting go. There's power in forgiveness, especially forgiving yourself. You can't carry yesterday's weight into tomorrow's blessing. If you're going to rise higher, you've got to release what's been holding you down. You can't change what happened, but you can change what happens next. And once you stop allowing your past to define your potential, you'll discover that the same things that once broke you are now the things that build you. You'll look back not with regret, but with gratitude. Because without those storms, you would have never learned how strong you really are. Speak positive words about yourself daily, because your mouth has the power to shape your life. The words you say about yourself become the reality you live in. Every word carries energy, and that either builds you up or tears you down. You can't keep speaking defeat and expect victory. You can't call yourself broke, unworthy, or unlucky and then be surprised when life keeps proving you right. The truth is, your life moves in the direction of your words. When you speak doubt, you invite limitations. But when you speak faith, you invite possibilities. What you say to yourself every day matters more than what anyone else says to you. The world already tries to tear you down. You hear negativity from people you face rejection, and sometimes life doesn't go your way. That's why it's so important to be your own encourager. The voice inside your head should be your biggest supporter, not your biggest critic. Stop saying things like, I can't do this, I'm not enough, or nothing ever works for me. Start saying, and I can handle this, I'm growing stronger. Good things are coming my way. Even when you don't see it yet, speak it. Words are seeds. You plant them before you see the harvest. And the more consistently you speak life, the more your environment starts to change to match your confession. When I was starting out, I didn't have anything fancy. No big platform, no famous name, no guarantee of success. But every single day I spoke over my life. I said, I'm going to be on TV. I'm going to inspire people. I'm going to make it. I said it when I was broke. I said it when I was tired. I said it when I had nothing. And eventually, those words began to manifest. I didn't realize it then, but I was training my mind and aligning my energy with the life I wanted. That's what speaking positive words does. It programs your subconscious to believe in your future. When your mind believes, your actions start to follow, and your results begin to reflect your belief. Negative words are like poison. They slowly destroy your confidence and kill your motivation. If you've been saying things like, I'm always unlucky, change, or I'm not good enough, you've got to stop. Those words are shaping a version of you that doesn't represent your potential. You've got to replace that negative talk with declarations of power and possibility. Say, I'm favored, I'm chosen, I'm improving every day. You may not feel it right now, but your feelings will catch up with your faith. Words have a way of creating momentum. They pull your focus away from what's wrong and help you see what's possible. It's not about pretending life is perfect. It's about refusing to give power to the things that hold you back. Speaking positively doesn't mean ignoring your struggles. It means declaring that your struggles won't win. When you say, I'm going to make it, you're not lying. You're speaking faith into your future. You're aligning your words with what you desire instead of what you fear. That's how you change your mindset and ultimately your reality. Because if you keep talking about defeat, defeat will show up. But if you keep talking about victory, victory will find its way to you. Start making it a habit. When you wake up, speak life into your day. When you face a challenge, speak strength over yourself. When you feel unworthy, remind yourself that you are enough. Do it daily until it becomes natural. Your words are a reflection of your belief, and your belief shapes your world. Speak like a winner, think like a winner, and you'll start living like one. Because when you choose to speak positively about yourself, you're not just motivating yourself. You're commanding your future to rise to the level of your words. You can't outgrow your mindset because your life will always rise or fall to the level of your thinking. No matter how much money you make, how many opportunities come your way, or how much potential you have, if your mindset doesn't expand, your life will eventually shrink back to match it. The way you think determines the choices you make, the risks you take, and the limits you set for yourself. You can't have a millionaire life with a limited mindset. You can't expect growth while holding on to thoughts that keep you small. Every change you want to see in your life begins with changing the way you think. Your mindset is like the soil where everything in your life grows. If that soil is full of negativity, fear, and doubt, even good seeds can't take root. You'll sabotage your blessings without realizing it. But when your mind is filled with faith, confidence, and belief, you become fertile ground for success. You start seeing opportunities where others see problems. You start thinking solutions instead of excuses. That's why people with the same resources and challenges can have completely different results. The difference is always the mindset. One person focuses on what's missing. The other focuses on what's possible. One complains about obstacles. The other finds a way through them. The one who grows is the one who refuses to think small. Too many people are trying to change their circumstances without changing their mindset first. They want better jobs, better relationships, and better lives, but they're still carrying the same limited thoughts that kept them stuck. You can't pour a new dream into an old mindset. It will collapse under the weight of disbelief. If you think small, you'll attract small results. If you think big, you'll start moving toward bigger outcomes. It all starts in your head. That's why you have to protect your mind from negativity, because what you focus on expands. If you constantly tell yourself that life is hard, that you'll never make it, or that you're not good enough, your mind will find evidence to prove it true. But if you tell yourself that you're capable, that you're improving, that you're destined for greatness, your mind will start working to make that true instead. I had to learn that lesson the hard way. There was a time when I kept thinking small because I didn't believe I could achieve more. I was working hard, but